Hey, baby dolls, I'm seeing a lot of cope messages today from pHEX people declaring victory when they've lost. You see, they don't know how to read. I made many videos and posts here where the hand is. We rotated an overwhelming majority aggressive of both hexes into Pulse and PulseX, and then it went up 135%. So if you want to see how much they got it wrong, you can actually just invert the chart and you'll be able to basically look at it from the HEX perspective. And I'll show it to you right now. So what they've done is they have lost 56%. All right, this is pHEX on top. So just to clarify, I know a lot of people don't pay attention and because they're just too selfish, they don't care about anyone else. But yes, we've made thousands of posts and videos. PulseChain and PulseX are cycle 1 coins. They're outperforming HEX, which includes pHEX. It's funny. Look at this. It wicked right back down. By the way, this is HEX going up. Like, oh, we're victorious. No, we're not. So this tells me, by the way, there's a higher probability now that pHEX comes back down into this zone even more. And then we'll see if there's euphoria or any of these other signs. So just to clarify that for you, because friends, this is the funny part. pHEX people are declaring victory, but you're losing to PulseChain. So HEX is a store of value, but Pulse is storing more value than you, right? A lot more. So it's 2.7 billion for Pulse and only 2 billion for pHEX. But this is exactly what I basically said was going to happen because it's cycle 1 coins. That's it. PulseChain and PulseX are cycle 1 coins. A lot of people don't want to hear that, don't like that. Saying pHEX is cycle 1. You can do whatever you want. I don't really care. I can just tell you the ratios are moving in one way. Look at this, friends, as well. As soon as it went back down, the market chews it back up. So basically what they do is they sell pHEX and they rotate back into Pulse. So if it follows this arrow in this trajectory, it's basically just telling you, well, Richard Hart already told, it's funny, this will be hilarious if this happens. Richard always talking about failing the IQ test, but then if you just go and go, wait a minute, Richard Hart had $600 million in the sacrifice funds. What does he choose? The layer 1 chain or Bitcoin store of value? He chose Ethereum, the layer 1 chain. He chose ETH with all of it. He went all in on it. Okay? So that's kind of telling you, and he also said like Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin. So if PulseChain's a better Ethereum and HEX is a better Bitcoin, by the way, it's already happened, by the way, I've just told you, PulseChain's flipped HEX. PulseChain has flipped both HEX combined, so eHEX and pHEX. So that's what that ratio of that trend over time shows you. All right, so I know a lot of people, friends. Look, I'm empathize with you. What they still remember is they think we're still stuck in these times back here. See, they think that everyone's in HEX. What they're remembering is they think everyone is still all in on eHEX from down here. All in, all in, all in. But, I mean, it comes out here, and then we did the great rotation. The great rotation actually happens here as well. Basically, overwhelming majority into Pulse and PulseX, and it's been winning by 130% at least, and PulseX is even more. So that's just to show you what's going on. But, of course, I know what people do. They come in, they check it out. They go, oh, you like this one thing at this point in time. Yeah, but the ratios have changed. The ratios disconnected big time, big time. They're just not paying attention. So, also, what's kind of funny as well, from the very, very bottom, okay, friends, eHEX from the bottom went up 57%, 56%. That's just funny to see. So, yeah, no, of course, I'm not an eHEX maxi whatsoever. This is also super important to understand. If you read the comments, you can tell who desperately needs HEX to go up. You can tell. Why? Because all of my videos telling you, go, hey, Richard's tweets with HEX and the uncertainty with HEX, everyone says, oh yeah, pHEX is the right one. Okay, sweet. Send eHEX to 0, send pHEX up. That's cool. But what I'm telling you is the whole HEX brand gets damaged. You basically, friends, you're a father and you got your kids. You took one of the twins out to the back, you shot him in the back of the head. And he said, don't worry, son, you're the favorite son. It's exactly what's happened. Pew, 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 pew. With the water pistol, of course. That's exactly what's happened. He's gone, hey, you were going to die anyway. It's basically what Richard said. So, but it's not up to me or anything else. It's the market choosing it. The market said that, hey, PulseChain is storing more value than HEX. Guess what, friends? PulseChain is just meant to be a gas token. Isn't that weird to you? You're like, wait a minute, how is the gas token storing more value than the thing that's actually called a store of value? Well, you see now, friends, that's it. Cycle 1 coins went through this thousands of times. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go around. I don't really care. People want to try to rescue their own reputation and stuff. I don't really care. Okay, people are going to backpedal a lot of things. Who cares, man? You were here. We literally told you. Okay, friends, we already paraded the victory around. Okay, Pulse is crushed HEX. That's it. It's cycle 1 coin. And Richard's basically told everyone, hey, I think Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin, store of value, right? Now, a lot of people trying to gamble here. I know a lot of you started buying pHEX here. Remember, this is pHEX to Pulse. A lot of you started buying pHEX here. Look, I'm not really interested in playing this the whole time, but if we hit some sort of like capitulation here and a lot of the pHEX people start selling pHEX to buy Pulse, I'll think about some sort of move from that. But I'm not really interested in all of these too much. It's going to be cool if that happens. But that'll be the ratios really disconnected at that point. But I think it's even going to go more, right? Because basically, if you look at the target, friends, it goes down like even more. Maybe it comes back here, comes back, and then end the bull market. People get to see what happens later on. Of course, it's not going to like stretch out into infinity. But yes, you can go out. It's just interesting to know that these things are all playing out, man. Look, if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're wondering like, what's the crux of the issue, man? The crux of the issue is everything got diluted. It got diluted. Okay, so telling people to stake long-term, risky. Why? The value went to Pulse and PulseX. All right. So you basically took a decision you can't change for like 15 years. And the market's telling you, and I'm telling you, hey, the market has chosen Pulse to store more value than pHEX. All right. Now, I don't know if this is going to continue, of course. Friends, remember, Richard Hart, if he wanted to, he could reprice this thing tomorrow. He could just go, you know what, I'm buying pHEX all the way down here. He could do that, all right? But why didn't he do that with eHEX, with the origin address? You could have done a one-to-one liquidity linking instead of like making everyone wait a whole year. That's another thing. Now, be careful as well. A lot of people will, if this happens, a lot of people will declare victory and all of these, but there is no victory. We're just holding it until the end. I don't know what's going to happen, okay? So remember, a lot of people trying to throw a lot of these like accusations and labels out, whatever. The market's telling you what it's telling you. Like I told you, once you introduce 5 coins, there's going to be a winner, which means the rest are losers. It is what it is. Okay, Pulse and PulseX, they're together. Now, eHEX and pHEX, stepchild, middle child. And, you know, everyone can just say, oh, they store a value. I know one of the biggest talking points you hear everyone say is, well, HEX can't fail because, you know, Richard needs it to go up and stuff. That's one of their talking points. But look what the market's choosing, man. I mean, it's not me. Risk off, risk off, risk on. So you got to think, all right, in the bull market, do you think people want to take on more risk or less risk? Just thinking about it. All right. By the way, it's already hit the target pretty much around here. Already declared victory because you made plus 100% on it. It's equivalent to like an 8-year stake, whatever. So I'm still holding Pulse and PulseX, and I can just tell you right now, infinitely easier to tell people, hey, buy half and half Pulse and PulseX, just don't worry about pHEX. I don't know. Look, you can still get them, friends. Don't do any crazy rotations. They're all going to move around, okay? But you just think about what the market signal's kind of telling you about the share of the new dollars coming in. That's all we got to really, really be focused on. I also want to finish off by saying that, man, you can see why, friends. The best thing you can do is to actually take off social media. But you really shouldn't, because then how are you going to, like, you can't really, like, feel the crowd, right? Of course, with their consent. Because when you listen to social media, I know how the game works. The game works is I've got a position and now I'm going to yell at everybody who's got the opposite position to me. I know that. So people try to tag me or take pot shots. I'm like, bro, who's this loser? No one cares. Who are you? Who are you? You don't put food on my table. You don't help any of my friends out. You're literally a nobody. You're just basically, you got a position on your talk in your book, just like everyone else. All right. And it's interesting, right? Just remember, right, coffin emoji down here for eHEX. All the way down here. Don't forget, man, there's like hundreds and hundreds of people saying, yeah, well, it's all dead. It's all good. Sweet. Okay, let eHEX go to 0 if you want. Right, well, you know, Pulse and PulseX are going to take on more of the share, right, already. As well, Ethereum, flipping Bitcoin, people want more smart contracts. Ethereum, PulseChain can also be upgraded. That's another thing to think about. PulseChain and PulseX, new cycle 1 coins. So these things, yes, it would be nice if we didn't have to do this, it would be. But the reality of the situation is, yeah, a big capitulation hand comes in, and it's opportunity for me. I bought eHEX, sweet. But yeah, I understand a lot of people because they can't keep up with everything. They still think that, oh, everybody is like 100% all in on eHEX. Like, no, there's if you're in that position, friends, I don't know what to tell you except, well, look, just learn from this for next time. I've mentioned to you thousands of times, you never go all in on just one part of a ratio. That's another thing. Another thing as well, I understand why most of you even got into it because you have, well, there's Richard Hart's yield farm for it. He's saying, I want to see HEX expensive. So you see this thing going down and you're thinking it's cheap. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Crypto's really risky, friends. It's really risky. But also now you know why I have 90% call, 10% lottery. And yes, market cap does matter. You can see all the PulseChain altcoins flying. And then total Richard Hart is now back to like 6 billion valuation, 7 billion. So, you know, everyone's calling for 100x, 1000x. Sweet. I hope we do see that. Now, what do I think is actually going to happen? Well, what you can think about is how it reacted back down here. All right, where you have this big capitulation. Maybe you come back up. Maybe now we've got to chew through the eHEX, the BankX wall, and maybe it just screams down even lower and then comes back down. Maybe by the end of the bull market, people gamble on it. I'm just zipping around here. Maybe that's it, friends. But also, look, if you put on a weekly chart or a month, let's put on a monthly chart, okay? You might be able to see the wick on this, okay? You see how, look at this. It's wicked back into the value zone. So you never know. It might just come back up here. But look, from all the other altcoins, I don't blame you. Look how much the other altcoins are freaking flying compared to this flying. So eHEX, right? Opportunity down here. But think about it. Is eHEX still cheap at 0.45? Is it still cheap there? That's what we would probably have to wait and see. Maybe it's not. Maybe you just got to accept that, okay, there's no parity here. This is what happens. Okay, so now you've learned a lot, friends. Remember, the media and all these people, they're not your friends, man. Everyone's talking their book. Everyone's talking their book. Here's the thing. Oh, yeah, I'm talking my book too, but I binked it 100%. 100% binked it. Okay, so looking at these, all you're going to do is trust yourself. Now, I don't even need to tell you this. Do you feel super safe with a long-term stake in this? You probably don't. You probably don't. But hey, it's still worth. The ecosystem is still undervalued. Maybe it's worth holding, right? PulseChain to flip Cardano. Look, everything's fine. You still got the strong ecosystem. Everything's fine. The piece of the pie is still growing. It's just that yes, there are people who get smaller pieces of the pizza slices here and there. Okay, make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, and all. Don't forget to love to catch you soon.